Hello everyone, welcome to Wembley Stadium. I am Paul Machin, Chris Pajak is here. It is Friday, the day before the FA Cup final, in the sunshine, in sunny capital of England, London, where the streets are not paved with gold, but chewy
bird shit.
and bird shit. But you know, like everywhere, we just don't make a big deal of it. Yes, we are we're just over 24 hours away from the FA Cup final. We thought we'd look ahead to the game, react a little bit to Jurgen Klopp's press conference, and talk about a few bits and pieces that we know about Chelsea in the build-up as well, and have a little look around as well while we're here. But yeah, Chris, first and foremost, we've just driven down. We had the little glimpses of the archway on the way. How are you feeling?
Really good, mate. I'm excited to be here. It's not that long since we've obviously been at Wembley in a cup final. You came down for the semi-final and stuff, but for an FA Cup final, it's been a bit of time, hasn't it? And the Carabao was an interesting one for me, Paul, because I wanted to win it, of course, and any game against Chelsea I want to win no matter what it is, even if it's for a meaningless European trophy that you then pretend matters loads.
Yes.
That's just the way it goes when it comes to winning those things. But the FA Cup, it's just a little bit more special, isn't it? I mean, it's something that, I know how much you love this competition. I know how much your dad loves this competition. My dad loves this competition. You grow up, and FA Cup final day is a day.
Yeah.
And we're making 2 days out of it, which is even better. So just so excited to just see this Liverpool side in an FA Cup final under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we've had you mentioned the Carabao Cup. There's a taste for it. It often feels like a dry run for this. And that's been my major concern over Liverpool at Wembley. It certainly was before the Carabao, and it was therefore less so when we played City in the semis. We've got a dreadful record at Wembley, and we have done for quite some time.
A long time from Anfield South, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
When it was just every time we come down here, we'd walk away with a trophy.
To the point where it's like, could we just have had it at Cardiff? Was the key conversation? But no, it feels like it's not a curse, is it? I know Chelsea are talking about a curse at the moment, which is why Steve mentioned this on the build-up, why they're going to be playing in yellow tomorrow, because they're trying to break some sort of hoodoo themselves or whatever. But I think it's about feeling comfortable in your surroundings. Jurgen Klopp mentioned this the day about how we've kind of been there. We know Wembley. The Carabao Cup showed us how special, reminded us how special Wembley is. And look, are you joking? I don't honestly. It's not that special. It's not that good a ground. If I'm being brutally honest about it, but it is significant.
What's special? The ground. What's special is having half a ground of Liverpool supporters and half a ground of someone else. And always as a Liverpool fan feeling like there's actually 60 to 70% of yous in there. That's what makes it special for me. It's being in a neutral venue and being able to take it over. It's what used to make the semi-finals at Old Trafford or Villa Park so special. You go in there and you're almost making somebody else's ground your home. You're in behind enemy lines. Yeah. That's what it feels like at Wembley. I know it's a neutral ground. It's not somebody's club ground, of course. No team plays there. But to be able to sort of get used to it, get into a rhythm, ultimately, unfortunately, over the last few years, that's City's. That's where they've been winning their trophies. They've just been racking up trophy after trophy. Yeah. So to not see them in any of the two finals, and for us to be in both of those, Chelsea to be in both of those, that's an improvement from where we were.
I was a bit shocked by the fact that it's been 10 years since we were here for the FA Cup final. Like, it's mad. We were here. We played. It was Chelsea. You know what I mean? Wonderful little a little story brewing under that, of course. But it was when we did the draft show this week, and I was like, well, we'll do FA Cup winners. And even then, the fact that we've not won it since 2006, they're the things for me this season. I said this about the Carabao. Normally, I'll be the first one to dismiss the League Cup, and I'll be honest. Just behind that, I'll be dismissing the FA Cup as well, because for years our number one agenda has been, let's get back and win a league title. Well, look, and I still feel like we do need to win one where we can have the fans in the stadium, absolutely. But win another European Cup, and we've done that as well. We still want to go for those trophies, but we're in a point this season where, when first and foremost the Carabao, it was an opportunity for us to put ourselves back on the top. Yeah. The most of those won, and we've gone and we've done that. And what Liverpool need to do now is start just gathering cups, gathering as many as possible, because if you only go for the league and you only go for the FA Cup, you only go for the Champions League, well, there's only two trophies you're going to win, and you maybe you unlock a Super Cup and you unlock the Club World Cup, of course, but really what you want to do, if everyone goes on about how it's much easier to win the domestic cups these days, well, good. We'll go and do it then. You know, go and add some of them, because I've said this plenty of times. When you look at when Phil Thompson goes on Sky and he goes, Phil Thompson, Liverpool, ex-Liverpool captain, won the league, FA Cups, you know, I want these generation Liverpool players, when they're done and they're finished, I want to have them with this like a rollout list of honours.
And like, look, you are going to get beaten in finals. That's just the way of it, isn't it? But you know, you've got to get there. You've got to put yourself in an opportunity. Jurgen Klopp said it himself in his press conference today. We always gave our all to make it to the final. We just didn't make it for different reasons. What is clear when you start a journey, what we did 6 or 7 years ago, you cannot have it all. We didn't have the squad for going for it all. We had to make changes. Everyone makes changes during an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup campaign. That's how it is. Some teams, when they make changes, don't realise and think they made changes. It's still a great team. It was never that we didn't want to go to the final. Not at all. We just didn't have the manpower to do it.
Absolutely. And this is what I've been trying to contend over this for years. People have been saying Klopp disrespects the cup. You know, everyone disrespects the cup. There's not a top team that puts their best side out in the early rounds of the domestic cups. And the problem is, of course, is that because of the fixture congestion, you know, particularly if you get to the semis, if you want to respect both domestic cups, you play the FA Cup third round and you play a two-legged semi-final in the week to 2 weeks to follow it, in addition to trying to keep your Premier League campaign running at the same time. And then all of a sudden you're in February, and if you've done good, the Champions League comes back, and then maybe you've got a final for the League Cup. We've seen all this firsthand.
But the mad thing is about all of that, and I've not really heard many people speak about it because I think it goes unspoken a lot of the times, is you need the big squad to be able to...
Sorry, the big squad.
You need the big squad to be able to go for it, right?
Thank you, Steve McLaren, for joining me here for this one.
John O'Brolly. No, you need the big squad, but then you can't get the big squad without actually having... It's like a vicious circle of how do you get the big squad when you can't compete for the four trophies.
Exactly. Liverpool were never going to be the team that overloaded the squad with loads and loads and loads of senior
until you can prove that you can get there and you can do it.
Yeah, and I actually, it's interesting to see what happens with this 5 sub change, rule change in the Premier League, because obviously we've got it in every other competition now. And I think Liverpool, I was a bit concerned that this might be our one and done shot at the FA Cup, because I didn't think we'll have this squad again next year. I think they'll let people go, and players will go. But whether we keep a decent size, I'm not sure. But I'm hopeful that we will more now.
I didn't have Taki or Ox on the bench in this game, and that was with Fabinho out injured.
Yeah.
And that's 9 substitutes on the bench. No, Taki or Chimikas.
Yeah.
But because I put Ox on for stupid reasons, but I did.
Yeah.
So there's 2 lads there.
And we've had that literally every week, where there's been 2 senior.
And Harvey Elliott, I didn't have him either, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And so you could lose 3, and you could still have an amazing squad.
Nico Williams gone out on loan. Tyler Morton hasn't been really in the matchday squad in 2022. You know, there's a couple of other kids like Conor Bradley's and, you know, and Beck's and stuff. We've had little sniffs of first team, Kay Gordon as well. You know, this is you know, it'd be interesting to see whether we actually are able to amass a multi sort of competition run in the next couple of years.
It's also how those lads can fare. I mean, I was chatting to somebody on the YouTube comments yesterday that wasn't particularly impressed with Kurt Jones' performances this season, I think it was, and I was sort of trying to say to him, I was like, yeah, but it's got to be a certain calibre of player that can come in and hit the ground running in game 1.
Yeah.
You know, Kurt, I feel, for me, feels like game 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've never been disappointed by game 1 either, by the way, but they improved. The same with all young lads, the experience, playing with players week in, week out, they're going to get better. Whereas somebody with a bit more experience, attacking Minamino, perfect example of this, can come into a Carabao Cup side and prove that he's a better player than the lads that he's up against.
And that's what we've got now as well, is those fringe lads who, and again, because we constantly, I say we, there's just a culture of Liverpool and culture of football in the world that ranks footballers at all times. So you've got your best player and you've got your least good player.
Worst player,
yeah, sure, yeah, exactly. Extreme, you know, negative platitudes around footballers who play for your club. But we think that because of that, therefore they're not good enough. Taki Minamino's miles better than most of the teams you come up against in these competitions.
Taki Minamino might have walked into a lot of our sides in the noughties.
I've said this, yeah, exactly, and we joked about this like Nat Phillips last season. 15 years ago, I think he's a nailed on 40-50 game a season Liverpool footballer, but we've raised the bar. But by that notion, if he's now not good enough, if you're good enough, you're brilliant. So Jurgen Klopp's speaking ahead of the game today. Some really interesting quotes. Actually, one thing I thought was a slight concern, but we should have guessed it when we were doing the build-up show. N'Golo Kante back in training, shock, even though he had an involvement in the week. And Kovacic apparently not as bad as feared. He's likely to be involved. So we did a lot of chat around that could be working in Liverpool's favour. I'm hoping look, I don't wish ill upon footballers in a wider sense, only that they're not available to play at the best of their ability in the games against Liverpool. I'm hoping then that he's one that they do push a little bit into the fray when he's maybe not quite right.
My guess is that it's mind games, and that I think he wants Jürgen thinking about Kovacic playing, because then he's not actually thinking about who might start the game.
Yeah.
So, and because they have had the injuries to Jorginho and Kante and now Kovacic, Jürgen will be like, well, hang on a minute, who is, am I preparing for Loftus-Cheek? Am I preparing for Kante? Am I preparing for Jorginho, Kovacic? I don't know. So I don't know whether he's going to be involved, but my guess is he's just thrown another name in the hat for Jürgen to go, I'm not sure how they're going to line up here.
Yeah.
And then just try and eke out a little bit of an advantage that way.
Yeah, you're right, because if he's not going to be involved, then you want to at least win something with the best contribution Kovacic can have is...
Look over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
In
exactly. Be a possibility, even if he's not a possibility. And the other one, not related to this game, Fabinho is ruled out for this game, but Klopp's confident that he will be back.
Now,
for the Champions League
with this
final.
one, I think he's kidding. He's out.
Well, that my hope. Yeah, my hope with the Fabinho stuff is it'd be nice if he was available to be on the bench next weekend.
Oh yeah.
Just
Southampton, look, fine, whatever. You need a few minutes going into it. It's why I think, if Bobby Firmino's not involved tomorrow, then Bobby Firmino has got to be probably involved on Tuesday, because he's obviously business end of the season and stuff like that.
Up again. Yeah, definitely. Anything else that stood out from what you've seen?
No,
from
I think there was a cracking quote here from Jürgen actually, and it was, he's talking about enjoying the journey as a Liverpool fan, I think, and while it's up to Liverpool to put the icing on the cake, it's the job of the supporters to enjoy the ride, irrespective of where and how it ends. We have to produce the ice on the cake, but you can't enjoy it, then I can't help you, Klopp said. In a season like this, my team delivering the consistency they've delivered is insane. I'm really happy that the people can be part of this journey. They're the main reason for this journey.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I couldn't have put it better, other than what Chris did post-match, where you basically said a lot of the same words. So yeah, plenty of reason to be positive, supporting the mighty Reds. We will have loads of content counting down to kick off on Redmen Plus and for free on YouTube and through podcasting service as well. We're going to do a match day morning tomorrow. We're hopefully going to be dialing in from Wembley, or certainly from London, to the live countdown to kick-off show, which is streamed for free on YouTube as well. There'll be the watch along, and we'll be here post-game, and hopefully there'll be a vlog if Liverpool win as well over on my channel. But yeah, if you want more in the countdown to it, Michael Thomas talking about 1992, 30 years ago, Liverpool won the FA Cup at the old Wembley. He scored one and made one. Great little chat with him. That is streamed exclusively on Redmen Plus, so make sure you go and check that out, and we'll see it over there. Ta-ra.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen TV goodness in your lives, head on over to redmenplus.com right away. You'll get more in-depth analysis, more features, more documentaries, more interviews, basically more Liverpool goodness. It's like Netflix for Reds. You will love it. We love it. Head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up for Redmen Plus.